Namaskar. Welcome to Katha Kahani Kavya. My name is Manisha. Our today's topic is basic Hindu religious ideas. Om. Part 1, Chapter 3, Rebirth. The evolution spoken of in the last chapter is carried on by the Jiva passing from body to body. The body is improving as his powers unfold. This is called rebirth, reincarnation, or transmigration. The word reincarnation means literally taking flesh again, coming again into a physical body. The word transmigration means passing from one place to another, passing into a new body. Either word can be used equally well. Let us see what is the process described by these words. The Jiva, we have seen, is a portion of Brahman, a portion of myself, a Jiva, says Sri Krishna. He contains the powers of Brahman, is Brahman, thou art that. The Shruti teaches, but yet there is a difference in space and time, as the seed is different from the tree. The tree produces a seed, giving it its own nature. It drops the seed on the ground, and the seed slowly grows, putting out its hidden powers, until it becomes a tree like its parent. It can become nothing else, because its nature is the same as that of the parent. And so with the Jiva, like a seed, he is dropped into matter by Ishvara. He slowly grows, putting out his hidden powers, until he becomes Ishvara. He can become nothing else, because his nature is the same as that of his parent, Ishvara. Ishvara is said to be wise and powerful, Jiva to be unwise and powerless. But the Jiva grows into wisdom and power, and that growth is what is called evolution. We have seen that the Jiva begins in the mineral kingdom his long pilgrimage through the physical world. At that stage, he is unconscious of the outer world. His attention is called to it. Its existence is forced on him by violent shocks and blows from outside. Earthquakes, volcanoes, landslips, the rolling of the furious surf, these and many other violent agencies arouse the Jiva's attention to the fact that he is not alone, that there is something outside him. If the student reads the accounts of the very early periods of Earth's history, he will be struck by the number of big catastrophes. All these were necessary to awaken the Jivas. After a very, very long time, the Jivas were sufficiently awake to be fit for the softer and more flexible bodies than minerals, and they went on into plants, while others coming out later from Ishvara took their places in the mineral kingdom. The Jivas in the plants now became more conscious of the outer world, feeling the warm sun and the gentle breezes and the life-giving rain. As they grew older and more sensitive, they passed into the longer-lived plants such as shrubs and trees, and in these more of their inner power unfolded, till they were ready to go on into the animal kingdom, while the younger ones come on into the vegetable kingdom, and others still younger into the minerals. And now in the animal kingdom, the Jivas got on much faster, and by hunting for food and fighting and outwitting each other. The senses and the simple mental powers were brought out and strengthened until at last the animal forms were no longer good enough for them, and they needed the human in order that their evolution should not stop. The student may ask, what makes the forms evolve to suit the Jiva? The Jiva's own efforts. He wants to look out through the wall of matter that encloses him. He tries to see, and his outward going energy works on the wall and slowly, very, very slowly, evolves an eye. And so with all the senses and all the organs. The senses are pierced from within outwards, we are taught. The Jiva shapes them all to suit himself so that he can use his powers in the outer world. And the Devas help him by giving him materials that are suited to the organ he wants to build. When he is trying to see, Agni gives him some of his own fiery matter, which vibrates when touched by rays of light. When he wants to taste, Varuna gives him some of his own watery matter, which makes tasting possible, and so on. In this way, he makes his bodies, and when he has shaped one as much as he can, and it is of no further use to him, he throws it away and makes another. He evolves faster and faster as he goes on, because his powers, as they work more freely, can bring about results much more quickly than in the early stages. This is the general process of evolution, and the succession has been told about as though it were unbroken, so that the student may grasp the main idea. But in nature, while the general stream is onwards, there are many little twists and turnings and runnings up into byways. A jiva may slip backwards for a time, stay a while in a stage that he has long left behind him. There is something he has not quite learned, some power he has not quite evolved, and he falls by this into a lower stage again as a boy at school. If he were idle, might be put back into a lower class. A jiva which has reached the human stage may be attached to an animal or to a plant, or, if he be very tamasic, even to a stone, till he has learned to use the human form better. Then he is like a man in prison, shut out from human society and unable to use his human powers for want of freedom. But the jiva is not to be tied forever to the wheel of births and deaths. The ropes that tie him to this wheel are his desires. So long as he desires objects that belong to this earth, he must come back to this earth in order to possess and enjoy these objects. But when he ceases to desire these objects, then the ropes are broken and he is free. He need not to be born any more. He has reached liberation. He is then called a mukta, a free jiva. Often muktas remain in this world to help its progress, so that other jivas may get free sooner than they otherwise would. We read about such muktas in the Vedas and Puranas and the Itihasa. Sometimes they are great rishis or kings, and sometimes they are quite simple people. But whatever they may be in outside appearance, they are pure and unselfish and calm, and live only to help others. They are content to labor for the good of the world, and they know that they are one with Ishvara. Dehino asmin yatha dehe kaumaram yauvanam jara. Tatha dehantar praptir dhiris tatra na muhayyati. As the dweller in the body experienced in the body childhood, youth, and old age, so passeth he on to another body. The steadfast one grieves not the reed. Atavanta ime deha nityasyoktaha sharirinaha anashino aprameyasya tasmadyudhyasva bharat. These bodies of the embodied one, who is eternal, indestructible, and boundless, are known as finite. Therefore fight, O Bharata. Ya enam veti hantaram, yaschenam manyate hatam, ubhau tau na vijanito, nayam hanti na hanyate. He who regards this as a slayer, and he who thinks he is slain. Both of them are ignorant. He slayeth not, nor is he slain. न जायते म्रियते वा कदाचि नायं भूत्वा भविता वा न भूयः अजो नित्यः शाश्वतो अयं पुराणो न हन्यते हन्यमाने शरीरे. He is not born, nor doth he die, nor having been ceased he any more to be. Unborn, perpetual, eternal, and ancient, he is not slain when the body is slaughtered. Veda vinashinam nityam ya 𝐴𝐻𝐸𝐻𝐿 vayam katham sa purushah parth kam ghātayati hantikam. Who knoweth him indestructible, perpetual, unborn, undiminishing, how can that man slay, O Partha, or cause to be slain? Vasansi jirnani yatha vihaya navani grihnati naro aparani tatha sharirani vihaya jirna nyanyani sanyati navani dehi. As a man casting off worn-out garments takes new ones, so the dweller in the body, casting off worn-out bodies, enters into others that are new. Dehi nityam vadhyo ayam dehe sarvasya bharat tasmat sarvani bhutanina tvam shochitumarhasi. This dweller in the body of everyone is ever invulnerable, O Bharata. Therefore, thou shouldest not grieve for any creature. Tadyatha peshskari peshaso matra mupadaya nyanya pataram kalyánataram rupam tanut evamevaya matamedam shariram nihatya vidyam kamyitya nyanvataram kalyánataram rupam kurute. As a goldsmith, having taken a piece of gold, maketh another form, new and more beautiful, so verily the Atma, having cast off this body and having put away avidya, maketh another new and more beautiful form. Pramanyadhaya karmani sang tyaktva karoti yah lipate na sa papen padmapatramivambhasa. He who acts placing all actions in Brahman, abandoning attachment, is unaffected by sin as a lotus leaf by the waters. Kayena manasa buddhaya kevalayirindriyarapi yoginha karma kurvanti sang tyaktvatma shuddhaye. Yogis, having abandoned attachment, perform action only by the body, by the mind, by the reason, and even by the senses, for the purification of the self. Yuktah karm phalam tyaktva shanti mapnoti nashtikim ayuktah kamakareణ phale sakto nibhadyate. The harmonized man, having abandoned the fruit of action, attaineth to the eternal peace. The non-harmonized, impelled by desire, attached to fruit, are bound. Vidya vinay sampann brahmane kavi hastini shuni chaiva shopake chapanditaha samadarshinaha. Sages look equally on a brahmana adorned with learning and humility, a cow, an elephant, and even a dog and an outcast. 𝐂𝐻𝐈𝐿𝐄 𝐸𝐴𝐺𝐵 साम्ये स्थितं मनः निर्दोषं हि समं ब्रह्म तस्माद् ब्रह्माणि ते स्थिताः. Even here on earth, they have conquered the universe whose mind remains balanced. Brahman is incorruptible unbalanced. Therefore, they are established in Brahman. न प्रिहश्रेत प्रियं प्राप्य नोद्विजेत प्राप्य च प्रियं स्थिर बुद्धिरसम्मूढ़ो ब्रह्मविद् ब्रह्मणि स्थितः. One should neither rejoice in obtaining what is pleasant, nor sorrow in obtaining what is unpleasant. With reason firm, unperplexed, the Brahman knower is established in Brahman. बाह्य स्पर्शेश वसक्तात्मा विन्दत्यात्मनि यत् सुखम स ब्रह्म योग युक्तात्मा सुखमक्षये मश्नुते. He whose self is unattached to external contacts and finds joy in the self, having the self harmonized with Brahman by yoga, enjoyeth happiness exempt from decay. यो अंतः सुखो अंतरारामस्तथान ज्योतिरेव यः स योगी ब्रह्म निर्वाणम ब्रह्मभूतो अधिगच्छति. He who is happy within, who rejoiced within, and who is illuminated within, that yogi, becoming Brahman, goes to the nirvana of Brahman. Labhante brahma nirvanam rishayah kshenakalmashah छिन्न द्वैधा यतात्मानः सर्वभूत हिते रतः. Rishis, their sins destroyed, their duality removed, their selves controlled, intent upon the welfare of all beings, obtain the nirvana of Brahman. काम क्रोध वियुक्तानाम यतिनाम यतचेतसाम अभीतो ब्रह्म निर्वाणम vartate viditatmanam. The nirvana of Brahman lies near to those who know themselves, who are disjoined from desire and passion, subdued ascetics of controlled mind. Om